I'm beginning to get increasingly concerned and frustrated with seeing Greta Thunberg in my internet feeds for the past few months now. It's bad enough that the left are using her as a shield and as a tool for propaganda, but it's getting worse because it's beginning to get to not just left-wing environmentalist heads, but even her own. Her speeches are becoming increasingly more doom and gloom, fear-mongering, authoritarian, just downright megalomaniacal, blaming us adults, or rather blaming the West, for environmental issues affecting our planet. Apparently, these issues are so dire, now we only have 12 years left and she will have no future. Of course, like the false helium supply rumour, the people behind Greta Thunberg's most recent ideological speeches are wrong. We already know when the Earth will end, in roughly 5 billion years until the sun goes red giant towards the end of its lifespan. By then, we human beings will be beyond extinct, possibly evolved even, and the Earth will not be the same anyway. But let me get one thing clear here, folks. It would be downright moronic to deny that the climate cannot change, that it's not in flux, that it cannot cause issues for us, nor can we necessarily not exert an influence on it. Obviously we can. You can see that, it's plain as day. It is patently obvious, and you can see it in not just the geological record, the climate record, the meteorological record, but even the historical record. It was only a few centuries ago, during the medieval warm period, that in England, one could actually produce wine in this country. It's a real thing. It is reality. There is nothing to argue there. However, what I think is perhaps just as arrogant and full of hubris is to claim that somehow, if we do not do what these crazy environmentalists like Greta Thunberg and her puppet masters want us to do, somehow we will all die, and that only they can fix the climate. It is beyond hubris to think that you hold the key to saving the planet. You cannot change something that is constantly changing. The climate is mercurial. It will not bow to your bourgeois needs, and you cannot do anything about it. You might just make a smidgen of an effect, but you will not change it the way you claim humanity has changed it since the Industrial Revolution. Which, by the way, if the leaks from a decade ago are anything to go by, that hockey stick graph is most likely not true at all. But regardless, back to the more sociological side of things. When I see Thunberg, and I see murals of her literally painted as a saint, I'm beginning to see a pattern emerge in Western culture. Forgive me for being pretentious. I do not believe that religion is actually dying in the West. On the contrary, I believe it is simply evolving. Just like how we no longer believe in Jupiter or Odin, we will probably no longer believe in the Abrahamic faith. I think increasingly we will start to deify celebrities, mythologize historical events and ideologies, and we will create what will be at first secular religions or cults, and then they will naturally morph over hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, into full-on theistic religions. You can already see it in this country, the UK, with the veneration that Princess Diana received after her death and the strange mania surrounding her even to this day. To talk ill of her is like blaspheming Jesus Christ himself. Likewise, Greta Thunberg is being portrayed, either ironically or unironically, as a messianic figure that has been brought forth from the snowy wastes of Sweden to save the world from climate change. To criticise her is to label yourself a climate denier, to want to destroy the world, and not only that, would you really want to attack a child? Never mind the fact that this comes from the same leftists who attacked the Covington kids and other children like that just for being not left-wing. Moreover, this hysteria over climate change is even creating doomsday cults, and it's not just the extreme left that are believing this. There's a reason why a lot of the recent extreme right shooters were eco-fascists. They too buy into the environmental doomsday cult for different reasons. For them it is blood and soil and things like that, but it all ends in the same result: neo-feudalism, backwards technology for us peasants, so you better get your paper bags and bin your plastic bags, because an endless jet flights and fully automated luxury communism for the nobles who are there to save us. And this doomsday cult is just one way in how they deal with it, and in many ways it's simply just a natural evolution from the Y2K and Mayan calendar doomsday prophecies. That, my friends, is just the start of it all. Greta is not the cause, she is the symptom, but my god, is she also a symbol of everything that is wrong with cults of personality, doomsday cults, fear-mongering and leftism. And again, I'm really fed up with the arrogance. I'm just fed up with it. These people assume that the planet is dying, that we are destroying the planet, destroying these wildlife, destroying everything, and only these martyrs, these bourgeois elites can somehow save us from this, from ourselves. I think George Carlin said it best. It's arrogant, it's vain, and the only reason they do this is not to help the planet, it's for their own little bubble, their own little safe space, as we would say now, where we are kept out and they are kept in, and it's sanitized, it's perfect, and no harm can be done to them. That's really all it is. It's control. It's keeping us down there in the dirt and them as high as possible in their ivory towers. That's literally what it is, because we don't have the power to change the planet like that. The planet is fine. The planet, as George Carlin will say, will probably just incorporate plastic into a new paradigm. Earth plus plastic. And I don't think that we have the gall to say that we somehow have the power of life and death over this planet, which really, despite nuclear weapons, we don't. We really don't. Because again, the Earth will cleanse itself, it will heal itself after such a hypothetical situation. And more animals will evolve, more animals will take the place of extinct ones. And I just think that it comes from a strange hubris that only humans can have. I'm finding it very hard to explain myself, guys. So I'll just link George Carlin's little skit about the climate change activists from 20 odd years ago now. Believe me, it's still relevant to this day. So until next time, I'll see you later.